Hi, welcome to this video of my robotic hand and pneumatic arm. I mean the pneumatic hand and the robotic arm. Differences in the details. Last time I tried to strengthen this part of the gearing of the pivot motor, and I hoped to stabilize the motor. However, I didn't succeed, not entirely. So I have decided to go back to my original plan while keeping the gear. So I still need to improve this. However, the main reason to go back to the original planning of using a switch is to get rid of the mysterious 1 second, 3 second pivoting turn, since it is say 1 second that way and 3 seconds this way. So counterclockwise and clockwise are programmed for 1 second, but they don't obey. And by using such a switch initially and a wire connected to that red interface extension, I want to try to change it, connect some kind of rod to this place, and then have a switch decide which way it goes and which way it should turn around the pivot, with the motor of course. So with that said, for now I will just mount this switch, and now I have to take care in which way I will do it, because obviously it goes in a circle. So then this mounting should be somehow okay. This way of mounting on the plate, and let's see if or this way it will work the way I intend it to work. And if I have a rod like this, will that work? I can for now put it in here. Let me grab the motor out of its place and say, will this work? No, it won't. Clearly. But if it is in the middle of it, will that work? Because this is only narrowly missing it. So that is a first idea of setup, and if I maybe put it in an angle, it might just work. So let's see how that is going to work out. Also the wires is may be better to be outside. So let's put it this way, and then something like this. So if I put it like this, will this be better? Let me try. Well, it does touch it, but the other way it does not. So that's another issue I have to solve. A nice start though. So since this angle is too sharp, I will change this, and I made another one which I will have to test if this is correct. And this is not good either. If it would be in the middle, so let's say here, it would not do much good either. So let's take this one and fix it somewhere here. Let you do it. It goes past it, and I have to pull this a little bit here. Okay. That looks better. And that's not good either. But I'm coming close. So let me use another clamp. Put it here. Looks better. And then with this motor still connected, the other end of this wire is now connected to the interface extension. So if I just a couple of times move it back and forth, it may be more centralized even. Would this work? Not quite sure, but I can always test it. And of course, this has to stay the way it is, and I still have to change this. But this looks promising anyway. So let's test this something. So with the switch more or less in hardware dealt with, it's time to reinforce this. and therefore I take roughly the same parts as here. So I have to get rid of this wire for now. And let's build something. That is one. And that is two. And now I have to keep in mind that this part was built because this is not exactly aligned with either this or this, so I have to take one extra to see how this will go. So one that way, and that will of course mean somehow this part won't fit as easy. And it is already blocking against this part. So let me remove the motor for a moment. Now these parts have to fit exactly in. And I wonder how that will work. So first I take out this one. That is one. Two. Probably three as well. Now the question is, how will this fit in? Okay, so far so good. The motor back in place. This looks like a better construction. So now the question is, how will this work? For software, I have to keep in mind that this switch is connected to I3 on the extension, which means 8 plus 3 is 11. So that is digital input 11. And if input 11 is activated, and I will have to test with the RoboPro interface, then with the RoboPro testing, to see if that indeed works the way I like, and then see how it works. So let's do that. So with the switch in place, I have to check first for a diagnosis. Yes, that is okay with me. Then slave, and let's check. I'm pressing it. Input 3. So when the input 3 indeed is pressed, the direction of the pivot should change. I have to do it like this. So if and this is better. There are all else ifs, so I'll stick to that. No, I will not stick to that. I will change this. I'll remove this and I move it completely down. No, down, down, down. Right after this. Else if t digital is 11, let's say print t digital 11 is t digital 11, which is the value, then change the direction. And do it for, and that's and that is of course another thing, because I don't need this anymore. But if I have this one, I can just say, okay, I copy this. Now I have to make sure that this is the same, yes. And here I say, no, I do this wrong. I do this wrong because I have to work with the status. The switch is not a status, is not a situation, is a change. So, that's a big difference. So, direction, let me put it very clearly, pivot direction is 0. Let's keep it, let's stick to that. If no, it becomes 0. It becomes 0. So I have to put right here that pivot direction is 0. That's 1. Then when it changes, it becomes 1. Else if the, and then if pivot direction is 0, and that will probably have to be double is. Then make it 1. The same here. So I have to get this one out. And I have to say, else if and then change this from 1. Change this, and then here I change this one like this. Forget about this line. Forget about this line. This is more important. And sleeping time is not as important now. And I think that should do it. So, if this new switch is being pressed, if the pivot direction is 0, then make it 1. Make it go clockwise. If it is 1, make it 0. And I of course have to change this. Make it go counterclockwise. Let's check. Does this actually work? It goes up and down. And that is a very good lesson, because it doesn't work. Because it's not changing. It's not pivoting. So I have to think about something to do with that. Let's just think about it. I have to start making it turn, which means that I have to set the motor in action anyway. Which also means that it matters very much in what direction I'm setting it. So it will touch the switch. So let's think. One idea is to put one instruction here concerning the motor, to just set the motor off in one direction. Clockwise. Then it will go here, will touch the switch somehow, if everything is right, and then hopefully do what it's supposed to do. So let's see how this works out. Ooh, that's a good one. It did go clockwise. Right side means that it did run, it did pivot, it absolutely did touch the switch, but it did turn, it did not turn. Turn around, I mean, did not change direction. So that is something to wonder about. How can I make it so that this happens no matter what? And I think I know if I do it like this. If the digital switch, I can just try this. Not an else if but an if. Let's do that. So no effect whatsoever. Not and I will show you on cam. This is definitely the right thought, but not the correct algorithm yet. So the current situation is with the software as you've seen. It starts with a pivot. It starts going up and down, all fine. And then the moment that this touches the switch, it should reverse. And now I'll show what happens. And it doesn't stop. So once again, and this is a big problem. So I think I will need another switch, which look like this, but the downside of this switch is that it has a middle side. So it's either one or the other, but it is not a direction changer. So, and I do need a real direction changer. So the idea is nice, most definitely, but it needs more thinking. On the other hand, while this is a start, this is clearly a big improvement, because it hasn't changed form yet. And with that, I will keep it for now. So yeah, thank you for watching, and certainly to be continued.